Today I will be doing a tier list of trash bag figures from Series 1. Now I'm aware that their official naming is Trashies, but I'm not gonna call them that because that sounds fucking retarded. So I'm gonna okay, so we got the pie one, which I don't remember the official names for these because you know in Hungary we called them something completely different than the official ones. But this is a very solid, just average trash bag figure. Just like all around. It's a classic, as you can expect a lot of classics from Series One. I think this is a solid A tier figure, I'd say, or character. Best Bottle. Best Bottle is an absolutely amazing Series One trash bag. It's extremely solid. It's probably one of the perfect ones from Series One. For some reason, it was really hard to find a good uh, copy of back when I was still collecting these actively from my friends. I still collect them sometimes. I have quite a bit of a collection, but not as much as I used to when I was around 10 years old or younger. Now, Pig, this Pig. Now, thing is, the animals in the early series, I think they were thrown out pretty quickly because they were a really garbage segment or category. They're really boring. Like you have this pig, and it's just a pig. So I can't really give this anything other than an F. Now this bug is one of my favorite bin sects from this series. It's a really good, really solid bug. I'm giving it an A, I do believe. The actual figure I remember being like really chunky, like it being really thick, and it had a lot of mass to it, which is really nice. I actually opened this from my first ever um, pack that my mom bought me for my birthday. It was a 12 pack, and I really liked this one in particular. Bird flu. Okay, so the series one super rare gimmick, which was the viruses or the infections with that were like see through. Those were a really nice gimmick in my opinion. I really like those. The only time I think Trash Pack had really solid super rare groupings up until Series 5. Series 5 is when that kind of thing started kind of losing me. But but I still reckon that they were always pretty solid. It's probably in my top three. I'm putting this in B. I think B is warranted. Blowfly. Blowfly is an absolute classic. Blowfly is one of the mascots of the brand, and Blowfly even starred in the Trash Pack animated series. If any of you remembers that, it was really bad. Don't watch it. It's really bad. It's not even worth the time. It's not even funny, but it's just boring. But I really don't care for this design. It's just a fly, so I'm putting this in C. Um, Chicken Pox, absolutely incredible. A Compost Monster. Compost Monster is a pretty boring trash bag on all around. I do have a bit of a history with it because it was the first. I think it was a yellow variant of it specifically that I got in my first 12 pack alongside the scab beetle. I do believe. So I do have. Oh, and here's another guy returning from that pack. The can of beans. Actually, I think this is one of the few cases. This is a really good trashy, by the way. This is one of the few cases where the official artwork actually looks worse than the actual figure. In almost all their cases, the official artwork is looks miles better than the actual figure you get. But this time, it's all red, which is really visually boring. but in all other versions, you got a version where there was a lot of contrast between the can itself and the beans. And the one I got, the one I have, the super rare version, actually had it's actually green and red, which looks really really good. I'm usually not a fan of green and red, but it looks really good in on that figure, and I also just really love the expression on that can of beans. Blown Tire, or whatever this one is called. This was an exclusive with the original garbage truck. I don't have the original garbage truck. I have the glow in the dark garbage truck from season 2 or series 2. And the series 2 glow in the dark tire is pretty cool, but it doesn't have the same like believability as this one. And this one is genuinely a really just neat figure. I have to give it like an A at the very least. Actually, I think this deserves an S as well. And really really boring, not much to say. F. Dumpling. Easily the weakest, easily one of the weakest of the series on Glow in the Darks. It's really boring. It has nothing going for it pretty much. It's just a ball. They haven't even done much with it. It's just all around really boring. But I do dig kind of the expression, so I think it deserves a D. It doesn't really deserve an F. Now El Thresho, on the other hand, completely boring, absolutely dog shit. The only reason I remember it is that it was also in my first pack, but no other reason. Other than that, it's really really boring. Flesh-eating virus. I always wanted to get my hands on this one, but never could. Nobody had it for some reason. But it is a great trashy, so I'm putting it in S. The Flu. Easily the most forgettable of the bin infections, in my opinion, but still rather solid. I think this deserves a B. Foul Nugget. Everyone I knew thought it was a potato, which is actually weird because an actual like a proper potato trashy I don't think was actually introduced until season 4 or series 4. I'm sorry, it wasn't introduced until series 4, which is really bizarre to me. Though granted, the season 4's potato is rather solid. I do actually like. I think I have a yellow version of it. It's actually a pretty neat. It has a lot of mass to it, but regardless, I'm going on kind of a tangent here. Foul Nugget is another classic. You know, it's one of those trashies that you would always find in somebody's collection. Like, you know, you were trading with somebody and they would always have it. I think everybody had a Foul Nugget in their possession at one point. But it is still rather boring, but because of its classicity, I'm putting it in C. This egg, I don't remember the name, I think it's like garbage egg or something. It's a great design. I could never get my hands on a proper version, a white and orange version, because everybody just had the really shitty like purple and green one, for example, which I really didn't like. But this one is really solid. I think this deserves an S. The seagull thing, D, boring. This guy, I don't remember the name of this guy, but I do like him. Kind of. A red and the yellow version was in my first ever pack. I think he deserves a C. This worm, completely boring, nothing to say. It's an F. Dog, F. Hot Dog, whatever his name was. This guy is like neat. I like that he has like a sesame seeds on his bun, because that's not something you really see in American hot dogs. Though Trashback is not American. I believe it's Australian. But this guy deserves, I think, a B. I'm pretty indifferent towards him, to be honest. Okay, a scrapped one. The ice cream cone thing that for some reason never appeared officially. It's a pretty neat design, I think. I'm not sure why it was scrapped. I think it's a pretty sad thing that it was, but I think it's a B tier trashy if it ever existed. King Rat. One of the first series is limited edition ones, and the reference of King Rat is kind of fucked up if you think about it. You know, like the reference to a king rat is when like I think, rats run around each other and their tails tangle together and they starve to death because they can't move independently. It's really fucked, and I'm not sure why Trash Pack would reference it, but they did. And it's pretty neat design. It's pretty alright. I think I'm still indifferent towards it, so I'm putting it in B. Mangles. It's supposed to be a garden gnome, but it's just weird. I don't know. It's a C. Moo cow disease. This was of course supposed to be mad cow disease, but they didn't end up doing that because it was a very famous infection that killed a lot of people. So they thought they would change the name to just a reference, which is respectable. I also really dig this design as well. I think this deserves to be in S tier even. Yeah. Milk. This milk, I love this milk. It's an absolute classic. S tier. Another fucking, this is a maggot. F tier. B, D tier. Kind of boring. Off cheese. Another absolute classic, and it belongs in B tier. I'm still pretty indifferent towards it, so it's B. Trash pod. Or I think it... Was it called Trash Pod? Probably not. I think... I'm not sure how I feel about this guy. I think he's an A tier level. Boot. This boot guy. Pretty boring. F. Pizza. I used to have a green and gray version of this dude. He belongs... Okay, this is another case. This is another one of those rare cases where the official art looks worse than the actual figure. Well, this is very much one of those cases. If we're going off figure, then this is an easy A tier, I think. The Scan of Tuna. I love him. He's so cool. He belongs in S. This cockroach motherfucker. F. No, I think it's a D. Season 3 did a cockroach that was so much better. Once we get to the series 3 tier list, that's definitely gonna be a big point because series 3 cockroach is just better in every way, and it has it's a fun pun. It looks fun. Much better than this. Most of the time I can't even tell what bug this is supposed to be. Steak. I mean, this is a classic, but it is rather boring. This is a D tier. No, I can't give it the D, but I can give it a C. Rankenstein. I don't get it. F. Moth. F. Now, this dude is the exact opposite of the pizza or the scab beetle, I think. His official art looks great. I love the official art design. It's absolutely great. I love it. But the official version looks rather dull. It's literally just a box. It's like an orange box or a gray box. I think that was the other color. I think it was gray, yellow, and orange. I do believe. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. But this guy is very much boring. But because of his official art, I'm giving him a B. No, I think I'm good. I actually really like. I mean, it's boring, but I actually kind of like the clean design. It's very simple and very straightforward, which is what I like about it. Apple Core, classic but boring. B. Cat, boring as shit. Bubblegum guy. This dude, not only is he a classic, he's also absolutely awesome. I love the way he looks. This is an easy S. Sadly, I could never get the pink version of him. I could always only find the gray one, which is as every self-respecting Trash Pack fan knows, is garbage. No one, if you respect yourself, don't settle for the gray gun. The pink gun is superior, and you deserve it. This computer, the monitor, I like it, but the face design is really wonky. I know what they were going for, but it does not work very well. I'm gonna be honest with you. The color scheming is its biggest problem. Like, there's just so much contrast. It just doesn't look very good. It's a C for me. I'm sorry. Squirrel F. This chicken, this drumstick dude. Very classic, but very boring. C. Rotten or Cruddy Skull. This was a pack-in for the collector's trash can box, I do believe. And it is a great trashy. It's everybody knows this one. Everybody knows the Cruddy Skull. And it's also a great figure. And it's also pretty easy to get a hold of. If you're for some reason it is one of the most common alongside the sushi because everybody had the collector's box for some fucking reason. Easy A, easy A. Corn. This guy, the only thing that saddens me about this dude is that you can't get a version with this color scheme. You can't get a realistic color scheme, which is what I always went for, even when I was a lot younger. I always wanted the realistic looking ones. The closest thing you can get to this is the yellow and red one, which is like looks alright, but it's still not the best. I think this is a C tier trashy. I'm sorry. This oil can dude. He was a pack-in alongside the tire, and while he is also pretty neat, he's the inferior one of the two. He's only an A tier in my opinion. This mouse, boring as shit, don't care. Fish. I can't put this fish in anywhere below S, but that's because back when trash bag first became a thing, where in the school that I went to, or the class that I went to, there was this, I think, Bakugan magazine or something along those lines that had a pack-in, that had a promotional trash bag, which was this fish, and that was the first thing my friend who had the first trashy in our school had, and it was great, and I still have a lot of fond memories of that figure in particular. It was a blue and green version, I do believe. Smelly sock. It is a sock. It is smelly. See, actually, a thing with smelly sock is that this is gonna sound really random, but the purple that the orange and purple color scheme one uses, like, doesn't really get picked up by like cheap commercial grade cameras from the 2000s. I'm not sure why, but instead of the purple, you get this weird like cyan-y color, and I don't know why, but that's the case. Snotter or snotty or something along those lines. Absolutely great. S tier. Absolutely S tier. The sad thing is that it was really hard to find a version of this that was both, the pink and green one that actually looked realistic. And also that everybody's younger sibling always seemed to just go for the tissue at the top and just rip it off, which is really disheartening to see. This snail, a really clean, simple design. I think it's kind of boring, but I do like the color scheming and everything. It's a C for me. This sushi, it went alongside the Cruddy Skull, and I do like him. He's not my favorite, but I do like him. He deserves a C. Back when I was a kid, nobody knew what this was supposed to be. I'm not sure why. Everybody thought it was. People were saying it was a beehive. People were saying it was a fuck. It was like, people said it was everything except sushi. And by the time it became clear to me that it was sushi, I was like a lot older. All right, crushed veal, I think. This guy is really weird. I didn't even know that he existed for the longest time. I'm not even sure what playset he came in. Maybe the big green Veely trash can? I'm not sure. I don't know what he came in, and I didn't even know that he existed for the longest time, let alone that it was Series 1. When I first found out he existed, I assumed it was Series 3, because it has like kind of Series 3 vibes. Because if you look at him, it doesn't really fit in with any of these. But no, he is Series 1. And he is a pretty unique Trashy, though unique is not always a good thing. And I'd argue that this is one of the cases where it's not. And but he's still pretty neat. I'm putting him in B. This Brad motherfucker. Boring, really boring, ugly, pointless, but a classic. The French fries. This is another one where you absolutely had a copy in everyone's collection. Nobody didn't have it. I think it deserves a C for that alone. Soda. Very simple, very classic. B. Tomato. The tomato. Another Series 1 limited edition. Probably I prefer it to King Rat, for sure. It deserves an A. This worm. Boring, but better than the fly. Wait, if I said he's better than the fly, why did I put him under him? What? Am I disabled? What am I doing now? He's better than the fly, so he goes in B. Okay, this roadkill cat. It was the last of the. It was the most common and the last of the limited edition trashies. I think 10,000 were manufactured. I'm pretty sure, and he's a great design. I love him very much. I love this. It is very morbid, but I do dig him. He deserves an S. He's the highest ranking of all our limited editions so far. Loop paper. Great. Love him. He's just very straightforward. I just love him. S. Easy S. This guy. I like him. He's very simple, very straightforward. A. This rat. Boring, but classic. D. This banana. I'm not sure why you would make a banana pack-in, an exclusive pack-in in a series centered around trash. Like a rotten banana is like one of the first things you think of, right? So I'm not sure about this move, but it is a really nice design. When I first saw him, I was convinced. I already saw him before. I didn't realize that I never even seen him, which just goes to show how much of a no-brainer this is. He was a pack-in alongside Crashed Wheel, I think. Yes, yes, he was, and he's not superior per se, but he does follow a lot more of the formula. I think he deserves a B. And finally, Trash Wolf, absolute garbage. I hate him. Really boring. F. Alright, that was it. Thank you for watching. I'll be back with more in the future.